There. Let's talk about decompression breathing and why it's so important in helping you live a pain-free life. This is an essential practice that should be taught to everyone in kindergarten. It should be taught in PE classes. It is a crime that almost no one knows about this practice, because it is one of the most foundational practices you can do to live a healthy life and improve your posture. Truly. What is decompression breathing? It is using the breath to do several important things. The main one of which is decompress your spine from within. A chiropractor can decompress your spine passively. He does it to you, you lay there passively, pop, and then you walk out, and in a couple hours you're compressed again. You can decompress from within actively, which makes it far more special, powerful, and long-lasting. And you can do it via the breath. How? Well, the thing is, your rib cage is intimately linked with your spine. Every rib attaches to a vertebra, a link of the spine. So when your rib cage expands, the same thing is happening in the back of the spine. I have had clients who are very short and spend a lot of time rolling out what's tight in their torso and work on this breathing, and they literally get taller, 1 inch, 2 inches taller. That is the result of them getting longer and decompressing their spine. Okay. It's very important also for posture, because a lot of people worry about being here. And to compensate for this, maybe they pinch their shoulders back or tuck their chin, doesn't matter. People do all kinds of things. But what this is a posterior shift of the ribs and a collapse of the ribs. And one of the best ways to get out of it is to just have a big rib cage. If you have a big full rib cage, it's much easier to stand upright in your posture. That's great. Last but not least, having a big rib cage provides a wide base of support for the entire shoulder girdle, and actually the body in general, the hips as well. I will have clients, they're in a position that should make them feel their glutes and they don't, and I tell them suck their belly in and inflate the ribs as much as they can, and then their glute will turn on and they can feel it. That happens quite a bit. Breathing in and inflating the ribs is really important, though, for the shoulder girdle and for preventing shoulder pain, neck pain, because the muscles of the shoulder girdle drape the ribs. And by having a big, wide rib cage, all the muscles are pre-tensed, meaning they have a little bit of tension on them resting, which is great because that allows them to do their job. When your rib cage is very small, certain muscles don't do anything, and then other muscles will get very tight to compensate. So, how do you do decompression breathing? First, it's very important that you just gently bring your belly button into your spine. A lot of you who've been doing planks and core work and Pilates, hopefully you've had time to roll this out. When these are tight, they're going to keep you compressed, and you're not going to be able to get that length. We want pretty much everything here relaxed except for the belly button being drawn into the spine. When you suck the belly button in, that's going to help the diaphragm do its job. So gently sucking the belly button in, but you should be pretty soft here. Nothing should be that dense. Okay. Then for this exercise, it's better to breathe it through the mouth. Day-to-day life, breathe through the nose. This exercise, breathe through the mouth. You want resistance to the inflow and the outflow, because that's going to help us target the right muscles in the rib cage. Make a hissing sound like this. Tss, like air leaving a tire. Tss. That is you pressing air through little holes in your teeth. You're going to do the same thing breathing in. If that's really hard for you, some people just cannot find how to do that, you can use your lips, but your lips are going to get tired after a while. Try just doing it through the tongue and the teeth. That's the breathing. Then you just slowly breathe in and inflate your ribs as much as you can. And then when you breathe out, it's not a and everything collapses within 2 seconds. You want to slowly breathe in over about 8 seconds, inflating fully, and then control the out breath. And typically for this exercise, you breathe in fully and then out halfway in the beginning, but you'll have more exercises and other breathe with you. So let's first fully inflate the ribs as much as we can while keeping the neck relaxed, shoulders relaxed. We're just gonna suck the belly in, tuck the hips under, and slowly start breathing into our ribs like this. Now you may not be able to breathe. My breaths can be very drawn out because I have a high CO2 threshold. If you feel like you just run out of breath, make it shorter. Go at your own pace, but follow the general rhythm that I'm doing, but follow your own pace so you can feel like you're not running out of breath. Fully inflating the ribs. Once we're there, then we're gonna shorten the breath cycle while staying as inflated and expanded in the ribs as possible. That's the practice for right now. Fully inflate and then breathe about 30 to 70% of your breath while staying as fully inflated as possible. So you're not taking a full breath in, full breath out, full breath in, full breath out. You're taking a full breath in, this is your expansion, expanding, expanding, expanding. And then as you breathe out, don't come back to zero. Expand, expand, expand. And then try staying in this range right here with your expansion. And you really want to stay as much as you can in like this range, as much as you can with your expansion. And by the time you're here, your breathing will be very shallow. And that's okay for right now. Now, everyone will have certain areas of their body that tend to be short and long. So for me, I'm very long here. So if I was very compressed, I may just do whatever it takes to get long, to decompress my spine with the breathing and not worry too much that I'm long here. But where I'm at now, it's important to have your, maybe do this in the bathroom so you can see yourself in the mirror, because you want to do this with as much of a straight spine as possible. And so I'm long here. And so if I'm not careful, I have a tendency to breathe like this. And there's too much of a curve back here because this is so long and this is short. So what I want to do is engage my abs and core. And now I'm a lot straighter and I will not get as long, but because I'm already somewhat decompressed, it's more important for me to practice the breathing with good engagement throughout my torso. But if you're very compressed and you were very tight here, you had to roll this out, then just worry on decompression. I would say if you're doing this for the first couple times, just worry about breathing. Don't worry about the spinal alignment, just worry about breathing. But after a while, you need to start looking at your posture, or in our work together, I will tell you what you need to focus on putting tension where in your body. Because here's the thing, if I'm long here, as I'm breathing, if I'm long here, I'm going to be short here. And this will not get longer until I'm able to have a nice healthy shortening here. This shortening is what will make this longer, and vice versa. And so if you're someone who's very loosey-goosey, you might want to focus more on being able to tighten areas while you do this breathing. But if you're someone who's more generally stiff and just stuck down and you had to do a lot of rolling out, or you're not very, you're someone who sits a lot and your tissue tends to want to be very stuck to the bone and you tend to be very stiff, then you can probably just breathe and not have to worry too much about where you're holding tension. I tend to be more on the loosey-goosey end of people, so I have to worry more about tension. If you're somewhere that's more on the stiff, cold, Viking, fascia type tissue, you can probably just do this breathing and not worry too much about where the tension is. So keep practicing that, and I'll see you guys next time.